everyone, I'm Mindy from Cute Girls Hairstyles, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. Brooklyn gave us this idea. She was showing a bunch of my quilts one day on stories, and everyone in stories was freaking out and told her that I needed to do a quilt tour. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, do that by clicking down there, and let's get to it. This is when I was a child. And this is what's called tying your quilt, where you take the yarn, you put it through both layers, and then you just tie knots into it. This is like a really easy way to make a quilt. And I probably started there originally. When I was probably 12 or 13, my great grandmother, who lived to be 105, would make a quilt for each of her great grandchildren. And her eyes started going bad right about the time I hit 13 or 14. She and my grandmother and my mom all put this quilt on, and all four of us hand stitched the whole thing together. I'll show you the back because you can see it a lot better. This entire pattern is all hand stitched. Every stitch of that is hand done with a needle and thread, which is a very different technique than I do a lot of now. I do more pieced quilts. You would just use a pattern, and you would kind of like use a fabric marker to draw the pattern onto the fabric, and then you would literally put it up on these big like 2x4 quilt blocks, and you would sew, and then as you would finish a section, you would roll it under until you got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and then your quilt was done. And anytime I get the quilts out, the dogs want to sleep only on the quilts. You can see O'Malley just made himself at home. Thank you, O'Malley. Then we moved into like piece quilting. Found this pattern somewhere. These fabrics clearly are like old. And I made this like, it's ginormo. You can see the pattern pretty much is just, it's like a 9 square block and then like a heart that I applique on. I think it's like a king size. It's so big. And then I finished this one before I graduated from high school probably. This one's kind of fun because all of these flowers were my grandmother's. She started, so you can see the fabrics on them are like super vintage and old and fun. Or when she passed away, then I found all these flowers, and so I wanted to finish it. I hand stitched all the flowers on. Like she had parts of them, but I hand stitched them all on, put all the green blocks between them, and put the binding on so that it was all finished. And then of course had it quilted. So that one's fun just because it's like my grandma's old blocks. This one's called the wedding ring pattern, the quilts, like where it's the interlacing rings. And I think she had the majority of those rings done. And then I just took it and sewed it all together and put the binding on and, you know, had it quilted. This one they called the wedding ring because they used to do these and make like the wedding quilt for people. That was like their comforter back in the day. Then when I was like a young mom, or I started getting more into appliquing and pieceworking, it's pretty funny. This is comical. Okay, this is the early days of Mindy applique quilting. LOL. Why I did chickens, I don't know. But this one, I didn't even do the applique properly. Like this is literally just like I zigzagged these chickens on the quilt. I probably ironed them on like with an iron on, you know, like sticky back. Of course, then I had to put it all together, make it like a cute little scene. And I know for sure on this one, but all of the actual quilting I did on this one myself too. You can't really see it from the front, see, but on the back you can see it. Like all of that outlining I did with my machine. Just so you know, when you were talking quilt lingo, the top is this front part, this is the back, okay, and then there's batting in between. When you get the top done and the back done, then you oftentimes can take it to a quilter who will use a long arm machine to put the fun patterns in onto the fabric. That's what I do. I don't do the long arm machining, so this one's kind of an unusual one. With my mom and my sisters, we decided to do like a quilt of the month class because I didn't feel like my quilt skills were super good and I wanted to learn more. We just did a block every month. Like on this one, we would have done several small blocks every month until the whole quilt was finished. But the nice part about a block of the month is, number one, you don't have to pick fabrics out. Number two, you have teachers that are teaching you. We could go in like one Saturday a month and they would like have classes all day that you could just go to, and they would just show you how to do things. And then number three, you learn a ton of different techniques. On this one, you can see how many different quilt blocks I learned. Like these are called yo-yos. We learned that. This is an applique basket, pinwheels right there. Like this is applique here again, bias tape right here with your fabric. And by the time you're done, you can really do a lot of different quilts because you've done them before. Another quilt of the month was this one. She didn't always do Americana, but these two are kind of like 4th of July-ish or fall-ish. So you can see this one. This one has a Dresden plate. That's what this one's called, this block. That's one of my very favorite blocks. I need to do a whole quilt in Dresden plate. I love that one. This was a block of the month too. Yay. This one we learned like hand stitching with the duck. And we also learned like how to do a border with a scallop. That was a new technique. You can see my quilts, some of them are well loved. I have tried to wash them. Some of them are just stained, but that's okay because I like that they get used and they are loved. I always tell my kids, like, I think quilts are like a giant hug. For Christmas one year, I made all 4 of the girls, which was all the kids at the time, Brooklyn, Bailey, Camry, and Ryland. I made them all quilts for Christmas. So Sean and I both have memories of me sewing at all hours of the night, trying to get these quilts done for the 4 girls. And they all looked like this. They were all the same fronts. And I just took these little fabrics and sewed them all on. They're really cute. But they all had different backs. This is Ryland's backing. That's how I always knew which quilt was which kid. When Ryland was born, I had friends that also quilted. We all quilted. So like I had somebody made this one for Ryland. This one's super cute. It's a log cabin pattern. You can see all the log cabins in it. But it's like 1950s material too. It's like the old 1930s, 40s vintage fabrics. They're so cute. This one was one I think that was sewn for Dax. It's just greens and blues. I think this was for Ryland too. So yeah, and these are easy because they're just like blocks. I made this one for Dax because of course then I'd made one for all the girls. So I had to make a blanket for Dax. This was the one I made for Dax and it matched his crib. His whole nursery was browns and blues when he was a baby. And this was his quilt that I made for Daxie. You can see the cute back. And I still love this one. It's got good fabric. Little Paisley Woohoo. When she was baby, I made this one for her. So she got the little owl blanket. So these are all applique owls on. Hers are just bright colors. You can see the back. I must have known she was gonna be the kid she is because look at all these fabric colors.
That's so pretty.
She's just bright and sunny and paisley, yeah. This was just a for funsie because I really do enjoy quilting. So at some point I found this pattern and just for funsies whipped this one together. And the fun part on this one was learning to put this scallop detail in. Rickrack, yeah. This may be my favorite block of the month we ever did. Oh, so good. The colors, I just loved the fabrics on this one, the colors. I love the little rabbit and the basket. Ugh, so cute, the polka dots. Even the backing I really loved. My grandma did this and I inherited this quilt. So I have to throw this one up for funsies. And then I have several other quilts in process. It's so fun, I love it. That's it. Hope you enjoyed. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel already, be sure to do that by clicking here. You can check out other videos by clicking over here. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.